Molweni Quintessentials, welcome to the Khazimla PR Academy. Today I want to talk about compliance issues, mainly the importance of having a very airtight company profile. We're going back to the basics, and the purpose of this video is to help you to think strategically about what it is that you need to put in your company profile that is going to help you to win those tenders, because your company profile is essentially your pitch deck. So you need to make sure that you are hitting all the keynotes and are speaking to everything that the client wants to see, especially if there's a bid and there are specifications and there are specific points. So the point system is a great outline that helps you to see, okay, what information do they want to see? What do I need to focus on? What is the most relevant? And what do I need to really place emphasis on? In other instances, when you are bidding to private companies, a standard template usually works, but it needs to be airtight. It needs to have hit all the notes, as I've mentioned earlier, and let's get right into it. So first things first, you need to think about who you are. When you are compiling your company profile, who are you? Firstly, what is the name of the company? That goes without saying. If there is an explanation or a thinking or a story behind the brand name, this is the opportunity to share briefly, I think 1 or 2 lines, 3 lines explaining the name, where it comes from. In my situation, the name of my company is called Khazimla Communications. Khazimla means glory in Xhosa. isiXhosa. My grandmother gave me the name of the business. Name is highly significant, not only because my grandmother bestowed the name to the organization. We understand the generational blessing, the generational pronouncement that comes with, the elders blessing your business, blessing the work of your hands. But also Khazimla means glory, so the glory of God. I believe in Jesus Christ. So everything that I do is for his glory, Khazimla. So everything I touch, Khazimla. Everything that the team touches, Khazimla. So we are literally glorifying the Lord in the work that we do. So what is your brand story as far as your brand name is concerned? Another important element to think of in the who we are part, or the section of the company profile, is the organogram. So it's always good to have a nice table or a diagram that explains the team members. So in my situation, it would be myself, the founder, the managing director. Then you would put your account managers, you would put the experts that are working on the team, so the social media manager, the social media coordinator, the media relations personnel, everybody that's working in the business, the admin, the cleaner, the driver. And let it be clearly distinct, let it be in a diagram format, so that anyone who looks at the image, or anybody who looks at your document, is able to see high level quickly, okay, this is the company, these are the people. She's not a lone wolf. There is a company structure. And even if you don't have employees as such, I would really recommend that you do an organogram, just to show that you understand that even if you work alone, you're open to consulting and hiring people on a project basis. You don't have to put specific names in your organogram, but make allocations. So at the top, you've got your managing director, and what feeds into that, your graphic designer, your social media manager, the digital marketer, the SEO person. You can title them with the position, the office that each of these departments hold, so that we can understand that there is an actual system and there is an actual understanding from yourself on how, the HR dynamics and what each project is going to require, even if you don't have full-time employees at the current moment. And then, of course, you can indicate whether your business is hybrid, virtual, or there is a brick and mortar that you are literally stationed in. Just give us an address, just so we know where you're based. In Johannesburg, are you Johannesburg, Sandton, whatever the case may be. That does impact also the bid documents, especially for tenders or RFQ, so the request for quotations that are metropolitan based. So if you're bidding for a tender that is situated in the Tshwane municipality, they're going to ask for your electricity bill so that they can confirm that you literally are living in that district or you are living in that metro. So they want to empower and service people that are living in that specific metro. So if you're in the city of Joburg, there will be a request for you to also submit proof of residency with your electricity and municipal bill. So you'll make sure that your address aligns with your compliance documents as well. Then you get to the heart and soul of your business. So what is the identity of your business? What is the core values that you want to communicate through your pitch deck, through your company profile? What is the mission? So why was the business started? What is the thinking behind it? What impact are you intending to make? This is where you can really be free to communicate your values, the organizational values, what you believe in. I mentioned earlier that my business is called Khazimla, which means to glorify. So it's all about Black excellence. It's all about creativity. It's all about, making sure that the work that we produce is impactful, not just for this generation, but, for generations to come. And in videos to come, I will be explaining how I intend to make that succession planning a reality, and how I intend on implementing the vision of scaling and the vision of working myself even out of the business, because it's not about me and my ownership and my name being on the business. It's about growing and empowering others, empowering South Africans, and by God's grace, even empowering our continental counterparts globally. It's all about making an impact. So this needs to be clearly distilled in your company profile. So these are all slides. We don't want 10-page essays about your backstory. Give it to us, even if it's in bullet form. Give us the context, give us the values, give us your mission, show us diagrams if you have any pictures. Always are the best visual storytelling asset that you can use. If you are able to even put in videos, short videos, showing us your team, showing us your vision, showing us, if you have been in existence for a minute, then you can even give us highlights of some of the work that you have done, or you can save that for your proof of concept, or the evidence, the body of evidence of the work that you've done thus far. Number 3 is the what. So what is the product offering that you are providing? Khazimla Communications is a PR agency, digital agency. So that is actually the meat of the company profile, because that is what you are going to be judged on by the procurement officials that are reviewing your tender proposal, by the technical expert that is requesting these services. They need to know, does this person actually have the skills to perform the tasks that have been outlined in the bid or that have been outlined in the request for proposal or procurement? What makes you different? Who is your target audience? And you can also, as I mentioned earlier, show us your proof of the evidence of your work. This is your time to shine, and literally just provide endorsements from your clients of the work that you have achieved over the years, to show the client that you actually do know what you're doing. And if you have reference letters as well, that those are fundamental for any tender bid. So anytime you do any work, make sure that you request your clients to write a reference letter for you. Usually I write the letter myself. They read it over, they endorse it, they put it on a company template, because ain't nobody got time. Usually clients, if you ask them, please write me a reference letter, they don't have time to sit and think about writing a letter for you. So do that laborious task for them, do the admin for them. They just plonk it on a company letterhead. You have your reference letter. Usually they ask for like maximum 5, and that really does impact on your points as far as winning that tender is concerned. And it's not just locally, but even domestically, they want that proof to say it's a reference. Essentially, if you were submitting a CV for a job application, you would be providing 3 reference contacts that, you know, the HR and the organization can reach out to confirm that this person actually does know and does do exactly what they say and can do exactly what they say they can do in this CV. Which leads me to my next point of credibility and proof. So that is your reference letters, that is your body of evidence, that is your source. You can provide case studies here of work that you've done. You can provide your key milestones, what have you achieved over a specific period, campaigns, etc., etc. Then you need to think about the brand voice and the tone and the style. So if your company could speak, how would it speak? Is it friendly? Is it authoritative? Is it serious? Is it accessible? Ideally, you should maintain a happy medium of being professional in your communication at all time, but dependent on your target audience, who are you speaking to, then your language needs to meet the lexicon of that specific target audience. So if I'm speaking to young people, there's a specific way that you speak to, you know, a Gen Z, millennial versus a boomer. And sometimes some brands can overdo this and then it sounds so tacky and forced, but use your discretion when it comes to speaking to your target audience. It must be relatable, accessible, and as the founder, try by all means to feature in the early phases and the early stages of the business so that people can resonate with the brand. You are the brand. And it's also come to my attention that I need to create more visibility as a founder because people relate more with people than they do with machines or logos. Yes, you have to have a polished logo. You have to have the good visuals. They must be clean. They must be pristine. If you're able to use Canva, use Canva. If you need to hire a graphic designer, then you have to spare those resources and get a professional to design a good brand kit for you that you can use as part of your brand identity, because that's also telling us who you are. So your brand identity is not just how you look, it's also how you present your business. So it needs to be neat, it needs to be clean, it needs to be polished. I don't need to go into all of that. You already know what is required from your brand visual identity, but your visual identity must also match your tone and style as the founder. It must match the organizational culture. So your employees, your team, they also need to be feeding into organically the culture of, you know, the brand voice. There can't be too many discrepancies between the organizational culture, the brand voice, and you. So these are all going to come out in your company profile, but essentially let us get a feel of the type of business that you are. A young, vibrant business is very different from a serious bank, you know, that's handling millions of rands. So even though you might be a bank, you know, you are speaking, as I mentioned, to a specific target audience. So there is a way that you need to reach them without compromising your professional identity as that specific brand or company. And then compliance, that is so key. Every tender document, every tender submission requires that you have your compliance documents in order. So that includes your Black Economic Empowerment Certificate. If you don't have that, you can go to the police station, get a sworn affidavit, fill in that form, get a commissioner of oath, or you can hire an accountant or go on the CIPC website and literally download and make sure that your annual returns are up to date and download a BE certificate for yourself. So those are the compliance documents that you need. Your company registration, that is key for every single submission, private and public tenders. You need to have your shareholder certificate ready, tax clearance certificate ready. Some tenders even want the compensation, they want the COIT certificate. I'm in the services industry, so I don't really need that form of compliance in my business. So it's always good also when you are filling out your tender documents, before you are knee deep into it, ensure that you check what are the compliance documents that you need, and these must always accompany your company profile, because it's your bread and butter. You don't have any one of these, especially for tenders, then you completely are disqualified just for not submitting one, forgetting to submit one. So create a folder and let it be accessible to the team in the shared drive, and know that the documents are there. And there's also the CSD, the company supplied database. If you are in South Africa, you need to make sure that you are on that database, otherwise you can't do any work with the government. Very laborious task to do in the beginning, but once it's done, it's done. And it also helps you see, okay, which documents are outdated, which ones have expired, which ones need renewal, and it's very useful in that aspect. So you also need to always have that document when you are submitting your RFP and your RFQ. So have a folder there that is easily accessible. You plonk everything in, and let there be a person, whether it's your accountant, whether it's yourself, if you are you're still in the early stages, to check those compliance documents, because the last thing you need is to be working on a submission and then you realize at the last minute, oh my gosh, the tax clearance certificate has expired, and then you've done all this work and you can't submit. So make sure that you have a system in place to make sure that all your compliance documents are in order. And that's it. I'm going to leave it at those 6 points. Writing your compliance documents is literally your pitch deck, so you need to put your best foot forward. It's you speaking on behalf of your organization. You can't be there to speak physically. You will be called in based on the impression that you have left with your company profile. It's your personality, it's your skills, it's your evidence of work, all bunched up into one. So you do need to put that effort into it. But once it's done and you've done it properly and you've done it once, then you don't need to do it again. The only thing that you will probably have to do on a yearly basis is just to update your company, your experience of your team, as far as years of experience in the business is concerned, and perhaps maybe loading up new clients and things like that you have gathered as you've been working over the years. But I hope this has helped, and thank you so much for tuning in, Quintessentials. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.